Excuse me, yeah,
Jameson Gears.
Second pass in the second half. Just 26 yards passing, but getting it all done on the ground. 242 to 151.
And this play is stopped. Timeout, Minnesota.
First charge timeout of the half, Minnesota. 30 seconds.
I'm a little disappointed in that interview from PJ Fleck. We did not get a row the boat, Ski-U-Mah, go Gophers. We did not get that from PJ Fleck at the end.
You know, you may wonder why PJ Fleck wears that tie. And it's pretty cool because he spent 6 months as basically a graduate assistant at Ohio State with Jim Tressel. And Tor, you can jump in on this too because you had a chance to learn a little bit more about it. Obviously, I played for Coach Tress, but he made such an impact on Coach Fleck that he now to this day wears that tie.
Yeah, he said the guy who cut me and changed my life wore a tie, and the guy who hired me wore a tie. Jim Tressel, the one who hired him. Mike Nolan was the guy who cut him, but when he cut him, he said, you know what, I think he'd be a really good coach. And that's one of the reasons why he wears that tie, to honor those two guys. They both wore him.
Mike Nolan was his head coach of the San Francisco 49ers after he was done playing, after PJ Fleck was done playing at Northern Illinois. So the tie lives on for PJ Fleck on the Minnesota sideline. Kramer on third down buzzes it across the middle, incomplete. That same matchup we saw down the field before. Ferguson defending Jackson.
Yeah, a little surprised at that drive, Connor. You know, a couple of throws there, and basically 9 seconds come off the clock, and you're going to give the football back to the Bowling Green Falcons here. Good coverage there across the middle. Great job by Davon Ferguson, number 7. And now maybe a little life here if the Falcons can put a drive together, really. I mean, they haven't been able to stop that running attack of the Golden Gophers at all.
It's a fun player, a fun person, Davon Ferguson.
Yeah.
Sammy Lewanson, who's the co-defensive coordinator, and Steve Morrison for Bowling Green, said Davon Ferguson is from Maryland, but the way he talks and as confident as he is, you'd think he's from South Florida.
He's got the swagger of a kid from South Florida. He's got the speed of a kid from Dade County, man. He is a very confident young man, and with the losses they've had in the secondary, Davon's had to step up big time. Look at that. Darius Taylor's got 169 total yards compared to Bowling Green's just 151. They'll say they're happy he's back tonight.
Yeah, it looked like he was headed toward a big day on offense for Bowling Green when they went down on their first drive. Sean Wimberly has elite speed, and he's into the second level, first down, and they just got a lightning bolt after Darius Taylor had outgained him.
Boy, Wimberly, you talk about that speed out the gate, and they're lucky that Bryson makes that touchdown saving tackle, because this game would have gotten really interesting with more than 14 minutes left to play.
A 42-yard gainer for Sean Wimberly. A straight line speed guy. A surprise snap for Bazelak. And then he turns it into a little dump for Hilaire, who's run out of bounds by Jones. I was lucky that didn't bounce off the chest and bounce somewhere funky for Bazelak.
And Bazelak was not ready for this snap at all. He's trying to get things set up. Luckily, great awareness by him to not only catch the snap, but to dump it off to Hilaire.
That snap caught him.
Yeah, caught him by surprise.
So they survive it. And play for second down. Bazelak escapes Joyner, and Patterson can't get out of the ankle tackle of Ferguson. Henderson, excuse me.
Really good job by the nickel Henderson here, because if he doesn't make this tackle, I think that Patterson may have ran for another 10 or 15 yards. So now a big third down coming up here, but listen, I don't think it matters. You're down 13 points. You're going for this on fourth down no matter what. You got to try to pick up something here, make this a fourth and manageable, or maybe you pick up the 3rd and 11. And you got Fannin in the backfield here.
He's out into the flat. Harold Fannin, Bazelak underneath, caught by Osborne, and he's cut down shy of the first down.
But what it does is it gives him a chance now. It's going to be 4th and about 3.
Got 8 of the 11 yards they needed. Max Warner, Scott Leffler, Greg Nosal all collaborate in the play calling for Bowling Green. And this is their biggest decision to make today. Not whether or not to go, but what this play will be.
You got everybody up top and Fannin, I should say, at the bottom by himself, and appears to be man coverage. Well, they're going to double him, actually.
Bazelak ran into his own guy, gets it away, and Hilaire right in the middle of the field.
What an effort by Hilaire, and really a great effort, too, by Bazelak to get away from the pressure. How does he come down with this football, and how does Bazelak get rid of it? A really good job here by Hilaire. He has to avoid the official. He has to get it over top of the linebackers' heads. And Hilaire is just having himself a monster afternoon.
Well, he was body surfing. Bazelak was on the back of Alex Wolschlager,
yeah,
his right tackle. Fannin, he's got the best arm on the team, and it's incomplete.
A lot of contact. No call.
There's the throw we've been waiting for. Tillman was the guy being held.
I actually kind of thought there at the last moment, if Fannin just takes off and runs, he had basically a caravan of blockers in front of him. Look at all these linemen. If they could just cut off their Lindenberg, he may have ran into the end zone. But again, not too many tight ends / running backs can throw the football like Fannin.
He can throw the ball 70 yards. Figured that was part of the excitement. He wasn't giving that up. Wimberly had the big hitter earlier around the edge, and a touchdown for Payshawn Wimberly. That speed was killer on that drive.
Payshawn for pay dirt. Where'd this kid come from? The jet sweep. Again, gets the caravan out in front and really just beats everybody with the speed to sort of walk into the end zone. And with the top 2 running backs out for the Falcons in this game, you were going with Johnson and Patterson, and Wimberly was the 3rd back to come into the game. And all of a sudden, maybe you found something here in the 4th quarter. Number 30, I think he deserves some more carries. Got a beautiful game indoors here, partner.
We do. We do. Payshawn Wimberly, 60 explosive yards on 2 carries. Bowling Green right back in it. A touchdown away now.
And Wimberly looked like he was running in full speed and everybody else was in slow motion.
His touchdown made it a 1-score game. Here comes Brockington. Lemecki Brockington, who came back from a broken leg late in the season, looks very, very healthy out across the 50 with a 51-yard return.
Now, Friday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'll have the 88th annual Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Quarterback Brady Cook and running back Cody Schrader. The number 9 Missouri against Ryan Day's Buckeyes. They're 7th ranked in the country. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern.
How would you do covering Marvin Harrison Jr.?
No chance.
No shot?
No shit. No chance.
Worse than
certainly not at 41 years of age.
Worse than you trying to cover Santonio Holmes?
Man.
You're at Ohio State?
Maybe if I was 20 years old again.
Torrey could cover him.
In heels.
Well, Cole Kramer's back at quarterback for Minnesota. Now in a 1-score game. And Darius Taylor, his 31st carry of this game. You talk about a workhorse, a bell cow, all the things. He's been that at running back.
Picks up 6 right there on 1st down, which is, I didn't understand that last drive by the Gophers. You know, you've been gashing Bowling Green, especially here in the 2nd half, and Taylor has just been killing you. And then you have all those throws take nearly, what, 20 seconds off the clock, and then just like that, the Falcons score in a hurry. I don't know if I'd put the ball in the air again if I'm PJ Fleck.
No more passes the rest of the game.
You don't need to.
Well, they haven't thrown it much. You're right. They did on that last drive a bunch. There's Taylor out into space again, and he's clipped by Ferguson after a first down.
Yeah, remember that Michigan-Penn State game earlier this year where McCarthy didn't throw one pass in the second half because they were just gashing him on the ground?
Yep.
That's what the Gophers need to do here.
Maybe Torrey with PJ Fleck and a Sharon Moore-like interview after the game.
We're on cable.
That too. That too. You know, one of the rare times that Taylor is checked out today. Jordan Newman back in at running back. He helped set up the last touchdown for Minnesota with a first down run. And penetration right up the middle. There is the heart and soul of that defense. Anthony Hawkins with a big play for the Falcons.
Big 54, the middle of this defense, just does it all. When coach said he's the dude, this is what he's talking about. Just absolutely beats the right guard, gets in there and just takes Newman to the ground in a hurry. And that's a big loss, going to set up second and long. I still would go back to the ground game, by the way. You need, the clock is your friend here if you're Minnesota.
You got 5 guys in the box, and Kramer throws incomplete. Looking for Gears, and there's a flag out at the ends.
That was late. There was contact. We'll take another look at this. I think they're getting Ferguson, number 7. If this is PI, this is going to be a big call.
Pass interference, defense by rule, the ball be placed at the spot of the foul with an automatic first down.
Well, what that also does, Dustin, is it moves Minnesota into field goal range to potentially extend it to 2 scores.
Does. Who was it? That's right there, actually. On the big tight end, they're trying to get Gears.
Yeah, Day was the guy covering Gears.
Yeah, it was Day. Sorry to misidentify Mr. Ferguson.
Wildcat look, Darius Taylor. There's the Wildcat quarterback. And faked it to Newman, and he slithers through there. Oh, through tight spaces, he finds a way to squeeze and do what not a lot of guys can do, gaining the extra couple yards.
The most amazing thing and impressive thing about these backs, and especially Taylor today, is that he hasn't played in so long. And for him to have all of these carries, over 30 carries, it's like, I thought he'd wear down.
When he's been at his best, Eastern Michigan early in the season, Northwestern early in the season, he had 30+ carries in those games. Done that again today. Here's another one for Taylor, seeking the end zone. Nobody can stop Darius Taylor.
Welcome home, son. Darius Taylor, the Detroit native, is putting on a clinic here at Ford Field in front of his friends and family, having the homecoming. Wildcat, great patience. A little bit of a hold there on the left side of the line. Didn't get called, but nonetheless, I don't know what that dance is, but
he's the homecoming.
It's better than anything I can do.
He's the homecoming king.
He is.
20 minutes from home today, Darius Taylor. And after all of those yards, they finally reward him with his first touchdown.
Darius Taylor doing it all. On the ground, little wildcat action. Gets good blocks down the field from his wide receivers. Brockington helping the stock block, 30-17.
Oil changes, tires, brakes, the whole 9 yards.
Connor Onion, Dustin Fox, Torrey Petrie, Detroit, Michigan, where Darius Taylor is back in his hometown. The running back from Minnesota just extended this to a 2-score game for the Gophers.
What a game this young man is having. We knew he was going to play in the game, just had no idea the impact or how ready he'd be, how healthy he would be. But they didn't have him. It'd be tough sledding for the Gophers.
Over 30 carries, over 150 yards, a touchdown. Minnesota looking for a revenge win after they lost to Bowling Green 2 years ago. It'll also be their 7th straight bowl win. Bowling Green still with plenty of time. We'll start with the touchback on this drive, down 2 scores. Bowling Green, their first winning season with 7 wins since 2015. Now trying to win their first bowl game since 2014 in the Camellia Bowl.
And also trying to keep a streak alive for the Mid-American Conference. They beat a Big Ten team 16 straight years outside the COVID year. And there were no wins this year. You called a game earlier this year, Indiana versus Akron, that came down to overtime. And no MAC wins over a Big Ten squad this year.
Not just one overtime. That was a quadruple overtime night in Bloomington, Indiana, early in the season. But John Steinbrecher, the commissioner of the Mid-American Conference, he's branded this pursuit of Power 5 wins as flying the Mid-American Conference flag.
The pirate flag.
The pirate flag.
Yeah.
That's what Bowling Green's trying to do. Carry that flag and keep that streak alive. First drive where they went 75 yards, had the touchdown to Hilaire. They went to Cam Worth briefly in this 2-quarterback system for Bowling Green, but since 3 and out, Bazelak has been the guy all day long in this bowl game. Chasing 2 scores, facing a 3rd down and 7. Bazelak protected underneath Fannin. First down, and the drive survives for the Falcons.
That's a really good job by Fannin there to have awareness of where the sticks are at too. When he gets there, a lot of times these guys try to cut back and go backwards, right? He did not. He got upfield, got the extra yard to pick up the first down.
Fannin needed 7, he got 10.
And they've got to go hurry up here, as there is just not enough time for multiple possessions if you can't score here.
Especially with the way Minnesota's been running the ball.
Correct.
Long ride. Bazelak flutters it out of bounds. Incomplete. Levi Gazarek out there in the flat.
Probably better he didn't catch the ball. Clock stops. Come back. Have time to regroup. I mean, listen, there's enough time, but you've got to score quickly. Remember, they did have to call that one timeout early in the 3rd quarter when they were basically gassed on the 2-yard line trying to stop the Gophers. So they only have 2 left.
Bazelak.
And he nearly picks up the first down. Oh, no question. No question. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be 3-down territory here as Bazelak drops back to pass. Going to find Fanning again. Going to be short of the first down. And the Falcons are definitely going to have to go for this one. In a situation like this, so what does Scott Loeffler dial up here on 4th and 2?
To keep this game alive, and a timeout. Timeout, Minnesota.
2nd timeout of the half, Minnesota.
Potential game deciding play. is coming up on the
30-17 Gophers on top of the Falcons. 5:24 to go. Big 4th and 3 coming up here for Bowling Green.
Bowling Green 2 timeouts, so they can stop it if they give it back, but getting late. Cam Orth lined up as quarterback.
This is the Wolfpack package they're talking about here.
And a timeout for Bowling Green. And the key part of that was Kyler Baugh.
Bowling Green's called their first time out, correction, their second time out of the half. 30 seconds.
Kyler Baugh was lined up over the center, and when that became a punt formation, they got him out of there to avoid a penalty.
So they were trying to draw a penalty flag, as you said, partner. You can't cover up the center. And you're right. Right as Baugh moves, that's when the timeout was called. And now Bowling Green is going to have to actually run a play. They were trying to essentially run a punt formation. So here's what they did. They motion out, and Fannin is at 10 yards depth. That's a punt formation.
And if Baugh stays there, that's a penalty.
So yeah, Baugh stays right there in the A gap. So the referee actually helped him.
Yep. The umpire came in and said, get out of there. So did Lindenberg.
Yeah, they were trying to protect him because it would have been a penalty. Very good awareness by the defense, but they got a break from the official.
Yep.
And that's why Leffler's so upset, to say the least.
It would have been the free first down. Instead, they'll have to run a play on 4th down and 2. Keep this game going. Bazelak at quarterback. So
left.
So Minnesota avoided the penalty, but with a true play call on 4th down and 2, Bazelak and Hilaire convert. And Strigo had pressure from the outside. So did Joyner, and Bazelak gets it away.
Got to go quick here. It's 4:25 to go. 2nd and 11.
The middle into Fannin, who holds on. Lindenberg got a piece of that, and Fannin up the middle for a first down.
Just such an impressive throw by Bazelak, because he's got to get this over the linebacker's head. They're playing a quarters coverage, and they're dropping the linebackers back deep as well. Watch how Bazelak just gets this over top of Lindenberg's head, and it might have even been tipped. So excellent concentration by Fannin, and a better throw by Bazelak.
And Fannin
he took a shot there at the end of the play.
But he has him inside the red zone, chasing 2 scores. And Bazelak retreats and benches it. And Logan Richter right at his feet. Richter, an interesting character in this wedding narrative that we've built up today, with Cole Kramer and Katie Miller watching on. The quarterback from Minnesota to get married in about 40 days. Richter is a groomsman.
How about that?
He had a pressure there.
Think he's the biggest groomsman?
I think so.
By far. All right, 2nd and 10. Got to.
Bazelak on 2nd and 10. Protected again, and he throws a dart to Hilaire. The diving catch sets up 1st down and goal.
The Falcons are not going away quietly here.
A 15-yard hit has him 5 yards away from a touchdown with 3 minutes left.
Well, listen, if they get a score here, I think you go for the onside kick. Just 1 timeout remaining, you have to, but you got to score first.
The final game for O.J. Hilaire of his college career. He's gone for $150 and movement up front.
I think they're going to get Joyner.
Be the second time they got him.
Say a second time.
Offside. Defense number 17 causing an offensive reaction. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
So this is touchdown and onside mode for Bowling Green here. Thinking ahead a little bit.
Oh, no doubt. And they got Hilaire in the backfield here, about 7 yards deep. Are they going to motion him out? No, he's going to step up.
Fannin into the slot. Now Hilaire motions out single side. And you got an unbalanced look. Bazelak going to the quads and incomplete.
And really good discipline by the Gophers defense, because what you were trying to do is get a clear out there and just try to get Hilaire right to the flat. A lot of times those things open wide open. And excellent discipline there by the Gophers secondary and linebackers.
Lindenberg, he's the stabilizer right now, because you have an All-American safety, Tyler Newman, not playing in this game. Defensive coordinator has changed. Danny Collins, the interim defensive coordinator. And they got that lined up right. Second and goal for Bazelak. Bazelak, end zone, contact and a flag. Wally on Tillman.
Take a look at number 5 coming across the middle of your screen. Number 5 in coverage as well.
Defense number 5. By rule, the ball be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down.
He had him hooked from behind. That's what the back judge saw. See, the down more important than the yardage here. You can still run the ball.
Well, Bowling Green does have the one timeout, but inside 3 minutes here. Bazelak fakes the run, throws for Fannin, and he did not get a foot in. Trayvon Jones with great coverage for the Gophers.
Boy, Fannin absolutely has to make this catch. I think he just dropped the ball. Yeah, it wasn't the foot. He just dropped the ball. Pretty good coverage there. Jones is the one who strips the ball out. Give Trayvon Jones the PBU.
And PJ Fleck making sure they've got 11 out there. Play clock down to 2, down to 1, and they've got to use their last timeout. That is major.
Third and final timeout. Bowling Green.
The timeout tank is empty before second and goal for Bowling Green. Washington, number 3 Texas in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Connor Onion, Dustin Fox, Torrey Petrie at Ford Field in Detroit, where Bowling Green's trying to make it a 1-score game on second and goal. Bazelak takes off. Bazelak churning for the goal line. Touchdown, Bowling Green.
Great effort by Bazelak at the end of this run, and you had to have it. Unfortunately for Bowling Green, you had to burn that last timeout prior to this play.
The ruling on the field of the touchdown is under further review.
I think his knee comes down, but where's the football at? This may be a better look. The question is, was he on top of a Golden Gopher?
And Kyler Baugh had him around the legs.
Yeah, I mean, he was short prior to him extending the ball across, but he may have been on top of a defender.
And I don't see anything there that can bring this back.
This would be a good look. Yeah, I think his backside, if you will, was on top of Baugh's helmet. And the line judge comes in and sees it, says that's 6.
So Tim Rich, the white hat, the referee out of the American. We're taking a look at this with the replay booth.
Now the one thing is the side of that leg down. No, I don't think it is. I think his behind is on top of Baugh, 93.
He's right on top of Baugh's helmet, isn't he? Remember, call on the field was a touchdown. Can they piece a couple of those shots together potentially? See if his knee was down. You think they're staying touchdown?
Yeah, in my opinion, is it's a score. From every look we've seen, to me, there's nothing definitive that says he has a knee down. I mean, you can see he's on top of 93.
So the call on the field touchdown, that would make this a 30-23 Minnesota lead, with Bowling Green cutting it to a 1-score game with 2:33.
Yeah, definitely kick the PAT, make this a 6-point game, and then you have to get the onside kick. Without any timeouts left, there's no chance to get the ball back.
Well, Bowling Green had to use that final timeout down here on the goal line before Bazelak scored this. At least as far as the ruling on the field, that's what it is.
Part of me thought they should have just took the delayed game. The time's more important.
Yeah. But if it comes down to onside kick or bust, then.
No, right, but I mean, if you still had a timeout and you kick the onside kick and you don't, I mean, there's what, 2:30 something to go? I don't know.
After video review, ruling on the field stands, touchdown.
So a little life here for the Falcons, momentarily.
Scott Loeffler and Bowling Green, they played one of the most challenging schedules in the MAC this year.
Yeah,
Went on the road to Michigan.
They've already waved the Pirate flag. Took down the Power 5 and Georgia Tech, who, by the way, had a nice win over UCF the other night.
So Bowling Green makes this and can score another touchdown, then they could win it with a touchdown and an extra point. And here we go, 6-point game, and likely an onside kick coming.
No, there's no likely. There is an onside kick coming.
With how much time would they have had to score for them to kick it away? 4 minutes or more?
You gotta, well, with no timeouts, you gotta go for the onside kick.
Bazelak is open for another chance. He's waited 5 years playing college football to be the starting quarterback in a bowl game. His final year at Mizzou, they went to a bowl, but he wasn't the guy at that point. No bowl game last year at Indiana. Him and Hilaire have had a special connection today. Over 150 yards for Odu Hilaire receiving. And in his final game, now it comes down to this onside kick with a little over 2.5 to go. And Jack Souter, the kicker for Bowling Green. Souter's onside kick is recovered by Minnesota. They had the hands team out there, and Corey Crooms away with it. And it'll be Gopher football with no timeouts for Bowling Green.
Game clock operator, please set the game clock to 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Thank you.
She thought it was a pretty decent onside kick.
Goldie Gopher is hydrated, by the way.
Goldie. By the way, I love when they put the Goldie on the helmets. It's a great look.
Well, Darius Taylor has gone for over $150 on the ground. He's run for a touchdown in his homecoming to Detroit. He's the Wildcat quarterback on first down, trying to ice the 7th straight bowl win for Minnesota. And powerful punishing run again for Taylor, out for 10 yards, right to the first down marker for another first down.
Now they could probably start taking knees.
Well, Scott Leffler and Bowling Green were in this bowl game last year. But Matt McDonald, their quarterback, was knocked out of the game early against New Mexico State. They had to come back. They had to do that in the second half today. One score short at this point. And with Kramer out in the victory formation. So the Capital One player of the game, there's no doubt about it. Darius Taylor, 35 rushes for over 200 yards.
Talk about being a bell cow. Coming home to Detroit, where you're from, and just putting on a clinic here at Ford Field.
Well, you said it. Expected 65 or 70 friends and family here today for Darius Taylor. How about Cole Kramer?
What a day he's had. I mean, not the most gaudy numbers in the world, but he's just got it done.
Katie Miller's fiance kind of had a Catherine Webb type moment today. Capital One post game coming up on the ESPN app. Trophy presentation.
Where's Uncle Brent when you need him?
Really?
And that should do it.
All you quarterbacks. Well, Cole Kramer, a day to remember forever. Same with Darius Taylor. The future very bright at Minnesota for the freshman running back out of Detroit. And for the 7th straight bowl game, it ends in a bath for the head coach for Minnesota, the 5th time under PJ Fleck. And they stay rowing to bowl game success.
You know, sometimes you never know who's going to play in these games with opt-outs in the portal. Taylor's been hurt for most of the season. He came out and, like I said, put on an absolute clinic here for the fans in Detroit.